Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a reading for the sign of Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Leo, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to solicit for a private reading. I do offer private readings, and if you're interested in signing up for one of those or in making a donation, the information regarding that can be found in the About section of my YouTube page, and I thank you so much in advance. Leo, I hope that you are doing well. I am doing your reading today, taking one overall energy from the Threads of Fate Oracle deck, the Shadow Edition, which is a gorgeous deck, and using the Tarot of the Abyss for your reading. So cards have been pre-shuffled. Let's get the overall energy for, oh, it just started raining. For Leo, please. For Leo. Leo. Thank you. You got the Observer. The Observer. Just want to try and capture. There you go. Obviously, right away, we see the crystal ball. I don't know if some of you are involved in the process of scrying. Scrying is when a person kind of puts themselves... I don't scry per se. Perhaps I do it with the cards to a certain extent, but scrying is this process of kind of putting yourself into sort of a trance-like state. If you're staring into a crystal ball, into a bowl of water, into a candle flame or any kind of flame. So there could be this need for you right now. Sorry, that was one of the crystals on my desk, but it just kind of slipped off. I'm going to show you which one slipped off. It was this labradorite crystal, which is often used in meditation to enhance psychic ability. So there was a reason why that fell off. So it kind of caught me off guard. You know, not to overly generalize the Leo contingent, but Leos are kind of often known for, being at the center of the action, center of attention sometimes. So for you to inhabit an observer energy is quite striking, right? Because it's you purposefully standing by, standing down is what I just heard. Standing down to assess a situation. And I do think this obviously has to do with your own, something that affects you directly. I don't see you kind of being in a room full of people at work and kind of observing what's going on over here, what's going on over there. This is something that has to do with you directly. The wings are interesting too, kind of, and the outstretched palms. It's almost as if I see you in this state of meditation with your palms open, and perhaps I just heard observing your own thoughts, observing your triggers, observing something someone has said to you and how it made you feel, observing in that way. So I'm gonna pull 3 cards, actually 4 cards came out, so I'm going to take them all. 4 cards for the base spread, 4 cards for clarifier, past, present, future, and advice from Spirit. I don't know that I pulled the advice from Spirit for the other signs, but wanted to come out for you. So we're going to do what Spirit wants me to do. All right, 8 cards down. Yeah, One major arcana. Let's see what we can see. In the past energy, you got the Eight of Swords in the reverse. Eight of Swords is a card that talks about analysis paralysis, being trapped in our own mind space, overthinking, right? It's what we were just talking about, that you're observing now, because this card is in reverse, right? You can see in the upright, it's a kind of overthinking that keeps one stagnant, trapped and bound, paralyzed. But in the past energy, this card was in reverse for you, so it's almost like lifting yourself out of that, almost that critic or that voice in your head that is kind of trying to put a damper on your energy, on your momentum. Because part of that message, Five of Pentacles, could have involved the idea of being left out of something. That you were, I just heard the word banished, which seems really dramatic. Banished from a society, a friend group, a clique of some kind. And I mean, when that kind of stuff happens, we don't need it, right? It's like if people cannot recognize your value, why do you care? Why do you continue to try to impress, right? Those are questions that we need to ask ourselves. I have to ask myself those things too sometimes. When I get rejected, it's like, well, but what's wrong with me? What, you know? And then you quickly have to say, you know what? Rejection is, you know, protection and redirection, right? That's what they say. Rejection is protection and redirection. You don't know why you're meeting so much resistance, but your spirit guides, spirit, God, the creator, the universe, whatever you want to call it, sits in spaces, hears things that you cannot. It doesn't change the fact that you may be sad about it. And Five of Pentacles can often have us feeling that we're in limbo, that we're trying to understand. Sometimes it's like, what did I do wrong? What did I say wrong? Could I have changed my action? Could I have held my tongue? That's what I just heard. Maybe I shouldn't have spoken too soon. Maybe I should have spoken up sooner. All of this kind of questioning, that's Eight of Swords energy. That's this energy. The coulda, shoulda, wouldas, right? She got it in the reverse. Ask for a clarifier. Lifting out of that energy. Understanding, yes, I do feel left out. However, it doesn't make me a bad person. King of Swords, Gemini energy. You're looking, King of Swords is very deeply understanding in terms of he understands the divine masculine aspect, understands the situation in its totality, is what I just heard. In its totality. Like, you can see all aspects. You can see around a situation 360 degrees. Every aspect you can begin to understand. And, you know, the sword, his sword is facing down. And when the sword's face down in the tarot, it usually means that they're remaining quiet. Like, nothing is being spoken at this time, or at least it wasn't in the past energy. So you could have seen a lot happening as the observer, but you made your choice not to say anything, perhaps to observe more. You know, we often learn a lot about people when we quiet ourselves and just let them ramble on. That's when you learn a lot about people. This card comes with an aspect of discernment and a little bit of coldness. You could have air in prominent placements in your chart. Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. I feel as though someone has prominent, like moon, rising, Mercury, the part of you that is usually kind of gushy and warm. In the past energy had to be this, had to be cold. Because whatever this involved, Three of Swords in the reverse, this is the present energy. Three of Swords in the upright is heartache and heartbreak, is disappointment. You can see here where the heart should be is where this bird is kind of flying away. It's almost like it ripped out a piece of you. And in order to release that pain, you have to let it go. You have to let it fly away. This card is in the reverse in your present, which means that it's been difficult. You're still struggling. You're still struggling to understand what went wrong, or what you did, or what you perceive that you may have done. Look, the thing about the King of Swords is that he's a truth teller. Leo, there could have been some part that you played. We all play a part, right, in every scenario. Even if we're just the observer, if we're a mute, silent, passive observer, then that's a choice. And it's not bad or good, but you still play a part. And there could have been, whatever this heartache was, you could have played a part in it. And you could be now looking at yourself for the situation with clear eyes, in a quiet space, and saying, yeah, I take responsibility for my part. That's a very mature attitude to have, right? Talk about the observer. This is your major arcana, number 2, the High Priestess, Pisces energy. The High Priestess sits at the veil between worlds, balances the yin and the yang, the light and the dark. One foot in the material world, the 3D world, and one foot in the next. It's like a stone's throw away from the veil. The High Priestess is very psychic, is very intuitive, uses, as the divine feminine energy, uses her powers of observation to understand a situation in concert with spirit. Always working with spirit. Thank you, spirit. Always in concert with spirit. So really heavily leaning on your psychic abilities at this time, on your spirit guides, understanding that there's like this kind of bigger picture scenario, and you're getting that 360 view, which is quite beautiful. This is the beginning. I mean, I don't see the Hermit here, but this is the beginning of the dark night of the soul. This kind of sentiment, this feeling that I'm getting is when we enter into the dark night of the soul, when we have our spiritual awakening, and we have several through our lifetime, right? Or at least I hope that we do. That we're constantly kind of being knocked on our butt, and then we have to kind of lift ourselves up and learn something new about ourselves. And it's not in the easiest of moments when we learn the most about who we are, how resilient we are, what we're willing to take and not take, the boundaries that we put up towards others, who we let in, how we open our heart, all these kinds of things. I'm going to ask for a clarifier on this 3 of Swords in reverse, please, Spirit. 4 of Pentacles in reverse. Could have opened yourself up to someone, You could have, when I said you could have opened yourself up, I immediately heard George Michael and the band Wham. We could have been so good together. We could have let this, well, wait, we could have been so good together. We could have danced this dance forever, but now who's gonna dance with me? I'm never gonna dance again. Guilty for feet have got no rhythm. Though it's easy to pretend, I know you're not a fool. Should have known better than to cheat a friend. The wasted chance that I've been given. So I'm never gonna dance again the way I danced with you. Careless Whisper, classic 80s song. Very potent lyrics. You could have opened yourself up, made yourself vulnerable, and something could have happened. I don't know. It doesn't have to be romantic, but kind of feeling like something involving a lot of the heart space, a big investment of emotions. Even though there aren't any, you haven't gotten any water cards yet, this is what I'm feeling. Like there was, because I asked what for a clarifier for the Three of Swords. Why the heartache? Why the heartbreak? And I see this card, saying, okay, I'm not holding on to something anymore. I'm releasing. So that's why I said you could have opened up your heart. You could have opened up your wallet. Spirit also wanted me to say that too. Could have been a business partner, friend, somebody that you once trusted. And now it's kind of like picking up the pieces, trying to let go. And I just got the trying to let go. It was a line from Mary J. Blige's song, Be Happy. All I really want is a way to be happy. This is very tough energy in the present moment. Very tough. In the future energy, you got the Queen of Wands in the reverse. Sitting around a bonfire, kind of meditating, channeling all of that energy. And the Queen of Cups in the reverse. And the deck of a ship, the waves crashing behind, right? Very different kinds of queens, both very powerful in their own way. Right? It's the drive, it's the inertia, the sexuality with the comfort, the compassion, the empathy, these two things together. When I see these cards in reverse, especially this one, not so much this one, but especially the Queen of Cups, in the future energy, this is about turning all that beautiful movement back in on the self, taking care of the self, showing the self compassion, empathy, love, and understanding and forgiveness, showing the self excitement, like an internal confidence, instead of sending it outward. I think there's a lot of healing that is to be done in the future energy. Okay. This is the card that just popped out. It's the Three of Swords. This is the only deck that I have that has two representations of the Three of Swords. Look at how many cards are still left in this deck. And you got them both. And you got them both in reverse. whatever this is, you're trying to rewrite the story, but you may be looking back on the story and thinking, and being so immersed in the past narrative. I was just I just did a Scorpio reading, so if you have prominent Scorpio placements, you may want to watch that reading, because that whole reading was about rewriting the narrative. There's this past scenario that keeps running over and over and over in your mind like a broken record. It's just playing the same tune, the same tune, the same tune. How do we break out of that cycle? It's almost like I see you taking the record and like just snapping it in half on your thigh, just like boom, you know? How do we rewrite that story? I think the first thing that it involves is forgiveness of the self. Because sometimes the Queen of Wands in the reverse can be very angry. This isn't your future potential, right? Remember, tarot is at best a suggestion. You have every ability at your disposal to change your life from one moment to the next. You really truly do, because it all starts with a mindset. I think you have to forgive yourself for something. I don't know what it is. It's going to be different for everybody. It's important, though. And you know, maybe I just heard somebody getting like, it's not my fault, it's their fault. I mean, yes, it could be. But if they're not providing you with a apology, or the thing is, Spirit just gave it to me, like when somebody affronts us, when they offend us, when they betray us, whatever, what level of apology is really going to do it? What could someone, let's say somebody, God forbid, but cheated on you, okay, you loving Leo, give everything for that person and they cheat on you. What level of apology is going to turn back time, right? No level of apology. They can apologize. I mean, that's a start. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's how you shape your heart around that situation that's going to be the make or break for you. Not affect that other person, but affect you. Easier said than done. That's just an example. What is advice from Spirit? 10 of Pentacles in reverse, 3 of Pentacles in reverse. You're looking for your happiness. You're looking... Ooh, I just heard handout? That doesn't sound like a Leo thing. A handout? Are you looking for a handout? I don't know why I said that. Is there pity? Do you want somebody's pity? Been there. I've been there. I don't suggest it, but I've been there. Take it as it resonates. This theme of these kind of joining hands is very significant, right? It's this idea that helping hands, the idea that we help one another to achieve our goals, to raise ourselves up, to find happiness through community, togetherness. You got both these cards in reverse, and Spirit is, this is your advice, right? At this time, it may not be appropriate to ask too many people's advice. This is a process right now that requires your observation. Hear those hands again. It requires your quietude and your contemplation, your meditation on it. Not to the point of overthinking, but to be in a space of thoughtfulness where we're not being fueled by our ego or our hurt or our sadness, but just in a space of observation, just in a place where we can look at something dispassionately and say, okay, what went down in the situation? What was their part? What was my part? I can't do anything about them, but I can do something about me. Knight of Cups in the reverse, Ace of Cups in the reverse. Lots of reversals in your reading today. Not a bad or good thing, just a way to read the cards, but usually when these cards come out in the upright, it's very authentic gestures of love, authentic offers of love. This is what I see. And it's almost as if Spirit is saying, until something in your mindset changes, this is all you think you're going to get from people. Something that is inauthentic. Remember, these are clarifiers for the advice from Spirit. Ace of Cups talks about a brand new beginning in love. Knight of Cups talks about somebody who comes in quickly, who's a person of action, who has an authentic gesture of love, an offer. This is from Spirit, this is from a person in 3D. Both of them are in reverse. It's the attitude about it. It's almost as if you don't get right about this very deep, this deeply rooted pain that you're dealing with, came out twice, then if somebody actually does come towards you and says, Leo, I think you're wonderful, let's have something great together, there's the potential for you to reject it because you don't trust it. And why? Because you don't trust yourself. That's why this is so important. We want these cards to turn in the upright for you, right? And this is just a message you need to hear today. I pull cards for you tomorrow, it's all different message. Queen of Cups, Queen of Wands in the reverse. Taking care of the self so that we're right with the self, so that we're understanding that we're worthy, and that whatever this once, and it could be a significant situation, but it's one situation out of many in your life. And it's kind of make or break. I feel like it's a make or break moment. So, you know, Spirit is asking me to pull one more from the Oracle deck. Paradox. Wow, I think Paradox just brought up more questions than answers. It's a funny thing when someone else hurts us, but we have to be the ones who forgive. Sometimes that boggles my mind. But it really is true that it's not about the other person. It's ultimately about What part of you did they offend? And why have you let it offend you to the point where you lose sight of your value? Because whoever I'm reading for has lost sight of that. If it doesn't resonate with you, it's not your reading. That's okay. But I feel like when I saw this card and I hear the word paradox, right? A paradox is when like two seemingly unrelated things become related. It's this idea that this and that are true. The power of forgiveness is one of the most useful tools that you can have in your arsenal as a human, especially if you can use it on yourself. That's your reading, Leo. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Please hit the bell notification to be updated as to when I post new readings. Thank you, Leo.